public processes here. Um, I'll give you kind of the rules about the public processes or best practices around the public processes, and then I want to talk about some further uses of the best practice of the public processes. So the public process area is for processes that are company-wide information. So things that the entire company needs to have access to. So that would be, things that are HR related. So any kind of human resource information, like the employee handbook, that's a good one. How to request a vacation. Anything that any type of form or document that employees are coming to the office people all the time and saying, can I have this form, or how do I change my W-2 information, or how do I update my address, or anything like that. That is something requested of that department a lot. Make it a public process. Make it accessible inside of TouchStone. Have it available inside of TouchStone. So instead of the HR people, the office people scrambling around trying to find whatever the most current version of that form is to pass to that person, which it's not only the time it takes them to do that, it's the interrupted time. It's the time that it costs them because of what they were doing, they were just interrupted with. It's the time of that person who left what they were doing to come ask for the form. So it's a lot of time. It's quadruple in some cases. So the public process area can be a repository for that type of information. And employees could be notified that, hey, it's all there if ever you want anything. And if people forget that or they choose to ignore it, then train your managers and your staff to say, hey, it's in TouchStone in the public area. Go find it. It's just getting people into TouchStone more and knowing that this is a place they can go to find things. So HR type of information. Also, any kind of strategic or training information that is company-wide. So management philosophy, that's a good one. So this is like the philosophy of the firm or the company. Your strategic objective or your vision for the year, your business plan for the year, that could be here too. And that would just be a document where people could go and look and say, what is, how are things going in the business? What's our plan for the year? You can discuss that with them, but also keep the document here so they can refer to it and see it. Processes like communications, this is like how to answer the phone, how to fire things, how to send out emails, how to use the fax machine, how to use the printer, who to call if it breaks, stuff like that. You can put computer processes in here, so how to clean up your computer, how to make sure the backup is working. These processes are for training. I don't know why these are here. This is probably misplaced, but you could keep training information here by position if you'd like. Company development meetings. That's this process right here. So this could be an annual meeting that you do and any kind of information that was given to the employees during that meeting. So they could go here to find that information. If you have in-services or trainings that exist and you want to keep that information that was given to you by the trainer in like a PDF manual or a PowerPoint presentation, or links to resources on that person's website or things related to that training. Any kind of HR training like on sexual harassment or safety training on what to do in case of a disaster, all that kind of stuff can be kept here. I like key performance indicators here. So the key performance indicators would be just the forms. If people are filling these out, that information is happening and saved to their unique control panel. But here employees could go to see what the key performance indicators are if they're interested in that. When you click a public process from the public folder, it takes you to the documentation for that process. So here there's a work plan on the KPI definitions. There's a checklist here. There's the human resource indicators. There's a form here for finance indicators. Now, if I'm an employee looking at this and it's not my responsibility to fill out the indicator form, then I'll probably just look at it. So I could look and see, what are all the indicators that are tracked? How do we measure those? If I am the finance manager And it's my responsibility to create the quarterly indicators and fill them out and submit them to the owner or my manager. When I access the process from the public folder, I can go down and click this form, and I can literally fill it out. I can call this Q2 2019, I think that's the year, profit and loss. What was the profit and loss? You can say plus 20%. That would be nice. Is it out of range? No. Comments. Why is it not out of range? We did better this quarter. You get the idea. If it is out of range, why? Net profit. What was the net profit? 5%. Did it meet goals? No. Why? Put in comments. So I fill this out as the finance manager, and when I save it, it's saving this indicator form back to TouchStone. Now, just because this was a public process, it doesn't matter. When I save it, it's saving it unique to me. So I could go over here and run a report under Control Panel, and I'll just put what is today's date? Thursday the 21st. So I put in today's date, and I hit Run Report. We're only going to see one thing. Well, actually, that's not true because I did something in another webinar. So here's this report that I filled out. The only person who can see this is me and my manager. So even though, the point I'm trying to make is even though it's a public process, if someone was to go in and complete something in this, it saves it back to their control panel just like as if they went here. So the public processes are for access reasons, they're for resource reasons, they're a repository for any kind of information that's company-wide. So I want to show you a quick example of, I'm just going to log out here, of a company that was using the public folder in a cool way. Okay, so this is a law firm, and this is a demo account, but we just mimicked what inside of this company's actual account, what they did. So this is the public area for this law firm. First of all, they have their law firm attorney's policy manual right there. So this is like an employee handbook. It's the manual that everyone gets when they first get hired. There's expectations training. So this is like, what are the expectations of the company? And they've done a specific little training for that with a checklist. Philosophy of the firm. Now, if someone wants to see that philosophy, they just select it, and then they click, and they actually see the philosophy. Simple, straightforward, really clear. Nobody can edit or change anything here. They're just viewing it. Now, when someone's first being trained, they could go and put, read it right here if you wanted them to. Or if a manager's asking them to go back and review it, they could say, did it. It's my keyboard. I really can spell. And then they save it, and then you have a date and time stamp when they actually read it and agreed to it. I'm going to go back to the dashboard here. Time management, also a great process as a public folder, in the public folder. This is a library process, so you can go download it from our process library under Guiding the Business. But this is just, best practices for time management. This could be something you train people in when they're brand new to the company. This could be something you refer people to if you feel like they need help with how they're spending their time to become more efficient. So this process has got like daily planning in it, how to do daily planning. If you ever decide, I want to track this person's time to see what and how they're doing things so we can help them to become more efficient, they can go down here to the time log and then fill a time log out for an entire week. This is like the time of day, how long they did it, 1 hour, what they did. And they can even categorize it as admin or whatever they want it to be, and they go through and track their time. This doesn't have to be a punishment. This can be just a way for a manager to kind of get a hold of how is this person spending their time? What is it that they're doing? How can we make it more efficient? How can I take things away from that person that they shouldn't be doing? Or how can we see what's interrupting them all the time? It's a way for people to track, what and make what they're doing more visible. So time management, also another great public process. Here's this time off and vacation request. So this includes a form that can be, filled out, has sample holidays and vacation guidelines. It has a policy in it, how you request a vacation. Employee satisfaction surveys and suggestions. This is also another great public process. So if I'm an employee and I have an idea how things could be better, I have a suggestion to make. This is just kind of a virtual suggestion box. They can go here to this process and fill out surveys if you want them to. Employees can go here, and you'd want to edit this. This is an example of 3 different types of surveys. So someone would need to go and edit this and kind of make it work for you. But this is, employees could go in and fill out these surveys. What do they think of the company? How do you feel? Do you feel that everyone gets along while working together? Do you feel like there is a team effort among everyone involved? And they just go and give it, 1, 2, 3, 1 through 5. So there are different examples of these surveys that you can go in and have people, and I'm filling this out because I'm in my TouchStone account now. I put my name, I don't even need to put my name here because it's saved unique to me, and they save it. So the idea is every person logs into TouchStone with their own username and password. They go and fill out the survey, save it back to TouchStone. Then a report is run, and all the surveys are listed. Now, there's nothing in TouchStone that can combine the surveys and give you tallies of everything. We don't have that level of functionality, but you can look at every survey and evaluate it. And then again, also for suggestions, when people submitted suggestions. Here are another 2 great ideas. This is a law firm, remember this example. So they've got a process here called legal resources. You could have a process that are resources related to your products or services. Resources related to how you sell those products or services. So information on their features and benefits. This is good company-wide information. It might be more relative to salespeople, but it's good for the entire company to know what are the products or services, what are their features and benefits, how do they benefit the customer. So this becomes a resource center for all that type of information. You can have processes like this one that says firm software and tools. So when someone selects this, they see all the different software that the company uses and some basic how-tos on how to use that software, or links to that software provider's tutorials, videos, things they already have. It could just be links that funnel towards those things. So if somebody forgets how to use these tools, they can come here and find it. For new employees, they know right where all of this information is, how to use all the software and tools that the company needs to have, what software they do have, when it's used, and how it's used. So think about this public process area. Expand your vision of it if you choose to. Think of it not only as HR type information, company-wide information, but also resource materials, a repository of information where employees can come and find what they need or be directed to it. So that is today's session. Just also as a quick reminder, in the Resource Center, if you need to hear more about how to use account administration, under the user guides area, there's a step-by-step for all of it. So if anything was confusing that I said, or you just want to go over it again, if you scroll down to account admin, all that information is here. In addition, there's little videos attached to those subject areas as well.